All right, you guys, class is now in session. So in this video, guys, I'm going to be going over and sharing with you all the biggest mistakes and hurdles that I personally faced throughout my fitness journey. And basically, I'm going to be breaking down and explaining to you all the obstacles, all the struggle and pain, and all the misery that I went through throughout my fitness journey. Basically, guys, I'm just going to be giving to you and sharing with you all the bad habits and bad information that I personally grasped when I was first starting my fitness journey. And overall, all this information and advice that I'm going to be sharing with you are basically mistakes that I've made throughout my overall fitness journey that's kept me stagnant, made me want to almost give up and quit my fitness journey, and basically just throw my hands up and say, you know what, fitness is not for me. I'll just accept being fat and overweight for the rest of my life. So I just really hope you guys take notes, get your pens, pencils, or whatever you guys used to write. Take some notes, because I feel like what I'm going to go over, definitely a few of these key points are going to be sticking home with you guys, because I know a lot of these mistakes I've made are mistakes people are currently making, and some of them don't even realize that they're a mistake that they're making. So please, guys, take notes from my mistakes, learn from my mistakes that I'm going to be sharing with you, so you don't make this mistake and stick with it, and basically save you years of being stagnant and at a plateau by making sure you correct these mistakes. All right, you guys, let's get right into it. The very, very first big mistake that I made, especially early on in my fitness journey, was basically breaking it down to this point: overcomplicating nutrition. I'm gonna explain to you what I mean by this in a minute. So as you guys know, I know you've probably heard this a million times, nutrition is key, nutrition is key, nutrition is key when it comes to especially losing weight and trying to lose body fat. I know a lot of you guys probably know this by now, that nutrition is really important, but I don't feel like a lot of people really grasp how powerful nutrition can be as far as losing weight. If I took two guys, one guy who was super disciplined on his nutrition but never worked out a day in his life, and another guy who worked out like crazy, worked out 7 days straight, two a days, and he ate moderately in the surplus, or just he never tracked his meals. I'm telling you guys, the guy who simply tracked his foods and made sure he was in a calorie deficit day in and day out will look significantly better than the guy who overtrained and never tracked his diet. And to go more in depth when it comes to me personally, when I first started my fitness journey, guys, I was basically, how do I put this? I was scared of committing. Let's put it this way. I was just scared of committing to certain foods. So I always knew that the importance of nutrition, being consistent with your nutrition, is key. But I always thought that was boring. Let's put it this way. I always thought the idea of eating the same meals every day would be boring. So what I would do is, especially early on in my fitness journey, I would go on YouTube Shorts, go on TikTok, and see all these high protein meals, like, you know, high protein barbecue chicken, mac and cheese, high protein pizzas, high protein Alfredo pastas, all these different high protein cuisines that were relatively macro friendly. When in reality, when you're actually making them, as a side note, whatever you see on like these social media as far as like these like certain high protein meals, for me at least, they never actually looked as good as they did in those videos and pictures and shorts that I was seeing on YouTube and TikTok. So all these different, like, you know, nutritionists that were making these high protein meals, like high protein pizza, high protein barbecue chicken, whatever it was, when I tried to recreate it myself, it never really turned out the way it looked like on those videos. So for me, guys, if I had to boil it down, what I was doing, especially early on my fitness journey, was trying a whole bunch of different meals, mixing and matching different breakfast, lunch, and dinner recipes, trying a whole bunch of different things, like some frozen burrito bowl, whatever it was. I was making, basically, guys, I was doing a whole bunch of BS and making a whole bunch of different high protein recipes, because to myself, I was telling myself, I just can't see myself committing to eating chicken and rice, beef and broccoli, beef and rice for like months. I couldn't see myself doing that. When ultimately, guys, I'm gonna just break it down to you. No BS. That is what you're gonna have to do to see the most maximum results, guys. Like I said, nutrition is super powerful. And in my opinion, I feel like nutrition is kind of a cheat code. If you can lock down the top staple foods that you enjoy, and you're eating that repetitively for months, not just weeks, but for months, guys, you will lose so much weight. I can't even express this to you. I don't know how to express this to you without basically just if I had to take a camera throughout my fitness journey, and when I saw the most growth was when I simply stuck to a simple meal plan. Now, the key, guys, is to stick to a meal plan that you enjoy. So you may not, like, people say stick to a meal plan that you enjoy, but I feel like you have to really take some time to realize what you like to eat. I personally like to write out all the foods I like to eat, map it out, try to configure it into a high protein calorie deficit. So for me, I love burgers, I love fries, I love fried chicken. So for me, consciously, the right choice with me would just simply be to switch out the burger, which is probably like super fatty, 85% ground beef, to like a 93, even 96 ground beef. Guys, to me, they all taste the same when it comes to ground beef. 96, 93, 85, they all taste the same. So that's a cheat code in and of itself. If you could literally supplement what you normally eat with something that's super macro friendly and still eat that consistently, that's a game changer because you can literally be losing weight without even realizing it. That's how crazy it is. So for me, guys, the number one thing, guys, that I noticed was that when I was first starting my fitness journey and what was keeping me stagnant was that I overcomplicated nutrition. Bringing it back full circle, I would overcomplicate my nutrition by trying a whole bunch of like high protein TikTok meals, trying to recreate these meals because I was telling myself, if I want to stick to a nice calorie deficit, let me just try a whole bunch of different recipes and eat it throughout the week. Guys, I'm telling you, I don't know how to express this to you without, like I said, it is super powerful. If you simply come up with a meal plan that you enjoy, really take some time to really, like, if there's anything you want to take some time on, like, even if it takes you a week, really map out a meal plan. And when you're done with that meal plan, look at this meal plan and tell yourself, ask yourself, can I eat these foods, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and maybe a pre or post workout snack? Can I eat this for 3 months straight, 90 days nonstop, Saturday through Sunday, no breaks? So whenever you want to go out to eat with your friends, you're gonna have to say no for a couple times. Or even if you do decide to go out with your friends, just to make sure, like say if you're going out with your friends and you know you like ground beef and you like steak, when you go to that restaurant, making sure you prioritize either that ground beef or steak with the salad, and that's it. But ultimately, guys, what you guys really have to grasp is the importance of eating the same meals over and over again. Because for me, I was spending hours in the kitchen. That's another thing. I was spending hours in the kitchen cooking meals that weren't ultimately serving my purpose as far as eating in a high calorie protein deficit. So guys, like I said, what it all comes down to is not overcomplicating your nutrition and simply coming up with a meal plan that's not super complex. You can make it for a week straight. I personally like cooking my own meals at this point because I know what I'm tracking on a day-to-day basis, but I know at some point I will probably try some meal prep services. But for me, I enjoy cooking my meals because for one, it's super easy. I don't spend too much time in the kitchen. I'm basically cooking the same meals every day. For me, guys, what I'm eating for breakfast is literally just ground turkey and some eggs and a hero bagel. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called a hero bagel. It's a low calorie, low carb bagel. Breakfast, lunch is usually chicken and rice, simple. Dinner is usually beef and potatoes. And then a pre-workout snack, I have like a Quest protein bar, and that'll pretty much be it. For me, guys, that's simply what works for me. And I've been doing that. And I'm actually doing a challenge right now. I'm doing this where I'm going to eat the same exact food for 60 days. So from now till basically the day before Thanksgiving, I'm going to be eating the same exact foods just to prove to you, I'm already pretty lean. I still have probably like 10 to 15 more pounds that I want to lose for myself. So when I get to my ultimate goal, trust me, guys, it'll only be because I'm eating the same foods every single day. And I'm going to try to do this for 60 days straight, not changing anything, eating the same exact meals. And I'm going to prove to you through this video of me explaining to you how this is going to be powerful for me. So guys, please, the number one key thing I want to share with you guys is do not overcomplicate nutrition. It is does not have to be this complicated, but it's very important to lock it down and hone it correctly. All right, you guys, now the second big mistake that I was making for myself personally throughout when I first started my fitness journey, not sure why the marker is going out on me, was basically this. I was punishing myself with cardio. I'm gonna explain what I mean by this in a second. I'm not sure why if you can see this, but you guys hear what I'm saying. So like I said, if you guys can see this, then that's good. But for me, the second big mistake that I was making and that was holding me back was I was punishing myself with cardio. Now, you may be asking yourself, hey, why is cardio a punishment for you? For me, guys, ultimately, I could be wrong, but I feel like I'm pretty accurate because I've gotten this far with this advice. I feel like cardio should only be like an icing on the cake. The main core dish should literally be your nutrition. Exercise can maybe be like the appetizer, because like I said, you could get a lot of progress simply eating correctly and making sure you're in a calorie deficit, prioritizing whole foods. And then the icing on the cake, the dessert, not even the dessert itself, the whipped cream or the cherry, literally the cherry on that dessert is what I would consider cardio. At this point is what I come to realize. And for me, this took me a really long time to grasp, because like I was saying, for most people, I feel like most people who are big and overweight, the very first thing that they tell themselves to lose weight is to do a whole bunch of cardio. And that's what I did. And don't get me wrong, it'll work initially. But like I said, this is not about a 2 week, 3 week span. This is about a consistency, doing it for months, at least 3 months. Why I recommend 6 months is because I feel like most people cannot easily make that flip of a switch from eating like crap to just locking in for 3 months straight. No cheat break, no cheat days, no cheat meals, literally locking in for 30 days, 60 days straight. Not 90 days straight. I don't think most people can do that. So why I recommend 3 to 6 months is if you're one of those people who can easily do that, then kudos to you. But for me, I feel like I could have made a lot of progress if I simply didn't overcomplicate the cardio aspect and simply focus on my nutrition and diet. Cardio, I was doing very, very early on my fitness journey. And don't get me wrong, I was losing a lot of weight. Like the very first sign I saw was my face. My face got really leaner. But then ultimately, I still had a gut. I had no arm definition. I was noticing really, really quickly that I was losing a bunch of weight, especially water weight. And I was also simultaneously losing muscle, which I wasn't really a fan of. I was not trying to lose muscle at all. I was trying to retain any muscle that I had while also trying to lose the body fat. So what I realized that most people do, especially like I said, people who are bigger and overweight and they probably have no gym experience, they think the first thing to do is to do a whole bunch of cardio to lose a whole bunch of weight. For one, guys, I do not think that's sustainable for most people, because if you can do cardio for months in and months out, ultimately, I would say yes, you can see results. But ultimately, guys, I'm gonna just say this: if you can consistently do hours and hours of cardio 5-6 days a week on top of lifting weights and eating your nutrition, you're gonna be in a very, very super different position than most people. But I feel like most people cannot stick to that, and it's almost not really necessary. I said, cardio for me, in my opinion, is like a bonus points. The main majority of the test, what'll get you the 100%, is just following your nutrition and lifting weights 4 to 5 days a week, in my opinion, to see the best results. Cardio for me is literally that bonus point on the test, on an exam, that if you want to do it, you can do it, but it won't necessarily hurt you if you get everything right the first time on your actual exam. That's how I see cardio. So for me, guys, what I was doing, like I said, in conclusion, I was doing a whole bunch of cardio, lost a lot of weight. It wasn't consistent for me. And I feel like it's not going to be consistent for most bigger guys, because being at a bigger weight, that's a lot of weight to carry. So running on the treadmill for long periods of time, it'll hurt your knees, your legs. You'll start feeling sore and crampy. So that's what makes it inconsistent for most people, because that's what it was for me. It was super inconsistent for me to hit the cardio and then also lift weights. Because if I had to, now that I'm thinking about it, guys, I don't know how I did this for like a month. Maybe I think I did it for like 2-3 weeks straight, and then I just gave up. Then I binged ate the last week. And then, yeah, I went back to square one. So what I was doing was I was doing cardio, an hour and a half of walking or running. I was jogging on the treadmill. Then I would do I forget what it's called, but the rowing machine for another 30 minutes. Then I would lift weights. So for me, guys, I was spending over 2.5 hours in the gym easily 2.5 hours in the gym. I don't know how I did that for like 2 weeks straight, but I remember very vividly that third week, I was literally in my car debating whether I wanted to hit the gym, and I did not end up going to the gym because I was just super exhausted. And I literally went to the fast food chain and started binging that whole weekend. So guys, what I ultimately realized is that I feel like most people who are bigger and want to start losing weight fast, they jump onto the cardio machines thinking that's going to help them really, really quickly. When ultimately, that's just a short-term 2-week fix when you really need to just focus on your nutrition and making sure you're lifting weights if you want to build some lean muscle in the process. All right, you guys, now the third mistake that I was making throughout my fitness journey was program hopping. Now, you may be asking, what does that mean? What does program hopping mean? I mean, it's pretty much self-explanatory, but I'm gonna go in depth either way. So what I was doing, guys, was I was basically hopping from different workout routine to workout routine. So for me, I don't know what it is, but I think when I see like a shiny object, I just tend to just gravitate to it and want to try it out. Especially for like newer beginners who are just new to the fitness space. You see something new, it looks good, somebody really sold you on it, so you want to immediately jump on it. So that was me initially. For the longest time, me personally, I was jumping from different workout splits to workout routines, doing different workout routines, doing a push-pull legs, doing an upper-lower split, doing a bro split, doing the Arnold split, trying a whole bunch of different splits. Ultimately, guys, what I've come to realize and come to conclude to tell you guys, it all doesn't matter. Just pick one routine that works out for you and you can stick to and progress for at least 3 months. I feel like you can make a tremendous amount of progress in 3 months. So, and you don't need to even consider switching out a single exercise for at least the first 3 months. I think after 3 months, you can maybe alternate, maybe like a flat. If you're doing bench press, you can alternate the flat bench press with either like a Smith machine bench press or a machine incline press, whatever it is. But literally, you can run the same exact exercise routine for at least 3 months and see a tremendous amount of progress if you're obviously doing it correctly and progressively overloading through time, which will obviously be through consistency. But ultimately, guys, what I was making the mistake was basically thinking that there was this ultimate workout routine that I needed to follow, and that if I wasn't following it, I'll be losing gains. I wouldn't be losing fat. Because for me, at the back of my mind, my main priority was losing fat and losing body fat. Everything else was second nature. So obviously I would like to build muscle and maintain the lean muscle that I had. But ultimately, through time and through coaching myself, I've gotten coached, and people have told me that, man, you just need to stick to a workout split, stick to it and run it for like 3 months straight. Trust me, you'll see a tremendous amount of progress. And I've literally seen the most progress within the last 3 months using the same workout routines. And even to this day, I'm still doing the same exact split that I did in the beginning of summer, like May. May is when I really started locking in. Believe it or not, is when I really personally started locking into my nutrition and my diet and my workout routines. And that's when I saw the most progress, was when I was locking in. And from May till now, which is a few months, that I locked in on my nutrition and my workout routines and did not change anything. And that's what I said. Like I said, goes back to my first point, not overcomplicating it. You don't want to overcomplicate fitness, because when I come to realize fitness is not complicated, it's just something that needs to be done consistently. And that's the killer for most people. Most people I feel like most people have a good enough grasp and understanding as to what it takes to lose weight, but most people just don't have the consistency, the accountabilities, and just overall the understanding of how long it might take them. So like I said, guys, it's really important to stick to a workout program that works for you, and just understand there's no such thing as like this special workout routine that only works for certain people. No, they all work. Just pick one and run with it for at least 3 to 6 months. Oh man, now this fourth point, guys, whew, this one was a killer for me. And I'm going to basically boil it down to this: ignoring hidden calories. So this is kind of self-explanatory, but I'm going to just explain it to you even more, how important this is. So for me, guys, especially earlier in my fitness journey, and especially even towards the middle, I kind of underestimated how many calories are in like liquid juices. Like for me, I never drank soda. I stopped drinking soda when I was like a teenager. So for me, the main thing for me that I was realizing was holding me back was the condiments, the barbecue sauces I was using, the ketchups, all these different condiments, the oils I was using, and the drinks I was drinking occasionally, like the apple juices, the orange juices. Specifically, I remember vividly, I was pouring some regular Heinz ketchup on my meal prep, which was beef and potatoes, like I mentioned to you. I just took a glance at the macros and the calories in this nutrition of the Heinz ketchup bottle. I was like, oh shit, this is a lot of calories. And I wasn't even pouring that much. So what I've come to realize, guys, and I know this is definitely a lot of mistake, and I know for a fact this is a mistake a lot of people are doing subconsciously, is not understanding how much calories are in condiments, drinks, juices, all this stuff. They all add up really quickly, and that's the scary part. And that's what makes it scary, is because they're like hidden calories that you don't really account for, you just subconsciously not think about, because it's not like a solid food and it easily digests, so you won't even feel it. But all these calories add up, especially if you're really trying to lose weight. You need to be in the calorie deficit, obviously, but there's a whole bunch of hidden calories and a whole bunch of different condiments and juices. For me, I've actually stopped drinking apple juice altogether and orange juice. I only occasionally, but for me, I either drink zero sugar, like, Sprite, zero sugar added, Powerade, Gatorade, all this stuff that's zero sugar. The max amount of calories that I drink is 10 calories in any drink I drink besides water. And as far as like the condiments, I only use the zero sugar or like low sugar condiments, like like the Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, the zero sugar added, or the G Hughes, I think zero sugar condiments. You can use any one of those. Obviously, still moderate and but you can pour a lot more of that and still be relatively low in calories. But guys, it's really important to track, and you still want to track these too. These drinks. Well, if it's zero sugar, zero calories, then that's fine. But if it's like 10, 15 calories that add up, I still recommend you track it, especially early on. Then after some time, you'll probably have a good eyeball of what dosage you're going to put in your foods as far as the zero sugar, low calorie condiments. But please make sure you're tracking your hitting calories and all these condiments in drinks, because it's really important and they can easily add up. And don't get me started with oils. I recommend, guys, just simply use the zero spray. When you want to season your, when you want to like the only time you should be using oil is to spray your stuff so it doesn't stick on the pan. And just do like 1, 2, 3 spritz for egg. That's what I use to do my eggs when I do my eggs in the morning, or my chicken when I'm baking chicken. I just do 1 sprit one side, flip the chicken over, sprit one on the other side, and that's it for each chicken. So you don't want to overdo that. So please make sure you're tracking that as well. I mean, you don't have to track the sprays and all that, but just make sure you're being aware of that. Don't use like oil, use like vegetable oil. Yeah, just don't do any of that stuff. All right, guys. Now my last, and I don't want to say most important, but this was a really killer point for me that really just held me back for so long, was using the weekend as a binging reward. I don't know why my dry erase marker is drying out on me, but basically I would use the weekend as a binge reward eating day or weekend. So for me, guys, I stopped doing this now, but obviously, especially early on when in my fitness journey, I'll be on a roll. Like, you know, I'll be Monday through Friday, I'll be locking in, eating my nutrition, hitting the gym correctly. I'll be feeling good. Like, you know, I'll be feeling like, okay, I'm knocking this out. And then for some reason, I would just tell myself, what I would do is I would weigh myself on a Saturday morning. I know this vividly. I would weigh myself on a Saturday morning and saw that from Monday through Saturday, I lost about maybe 2 pounds, 2 to 3 pounds. I'll be happy, like, oh shit, I lost 3 pounds, let's get it. Dumb, right? So then on that same Saturday evening, I would tell myself, okay, since I was pretty good, locked in on my nutrition, did everything I needed to do Monday through Saturday morning, let me just go out and have this Five Guys burger and also go out for dinner and do something on the side, you know? I mean, what can a Saturday do? Like, it's like one Saturday can't just like completely erase Monday through Friday's worth of work, right? Like, I was just telling myself this stuff, like, I would just tell myself this stuff, like, you know what? I deserve this. I deserve this going out to Five Guys. I deserve this, what is it? This McDonald's Big Mac, because I just did so much work throughout the week. And then on the weekend, let me just relax a little bit, you know? Relax. No. Come to find out, guys, that was probably one of the dumbest and the most costly mistake that I made throughout. Out of all these things I'm listing right now, I would say number 5 is the most common mistake that I've made, and I feel like most people are making, that made me stagnant and overall made me plateau at specifically 250 pounds. I remember vividly, I was like 250 pounds for like a month straight. Because what I would do is I would start the month off, you know, I start at 250. The first week, at the end of the first week on that Saturday, I'd be like at like 245. And then I'd binge on a Saturday. And then on Sunday, I'd be too tired and still be lethargic from Saturday's binging. So I'd either eat, so then on Sunday, I would either eat at maintenance without even knowing it, still not tracking my food on the weekends, Saturday or Sunday, by the way. Then on Monday, I step on the scale again, and I start right back at square one. I'd be like, okay, maybe it's just water weight. Okay, then throughout the second week, I do the same thing again, weigh myself on that Saturday morning, saw that I was back at then I saw that I was back at the same weight that I was week 1, 245, 246 pounds. Well, okay. So I guess it was just a one-time thing, you know, maybe it was like maybe the scale was just tripping that week. So I was like, okay, let me binge again this weekend. Sunday comes around, still lethargic, lazy as hell. And then Monday comes around, weigh myself again, week 3 already, same weight as week 1. Now, mind you guys, that's 3 weeks wasted, basically going up and down in weight. So all the work that I was doing throughout the week, Monday through Friday, Saturday came around, Sunday came around, Monday came around, went to re-weigh myself, saw that all the progress I made that previous week was gone, down the drain. That sweat and tears. Even when I was doing those excess cardio, like I mentioned to you when I was doing a whole bunch of cardio, I would do a whole bunch of cardio, all that running, sweating, like sweating my ass off, all for that to take me back to square one the very next week. That'll feel discouraging. That will feel discouraging to anybody, not just me, but I feel like anybody who's put in so much work and then come to find out they're back at square one, that's going to be discouraging. Like, why would it not be? So guys, and this is more like a psychological thing. For one, you got to kill that mindset of using the weekend as like some type of reward binging. No, the weekend is just another day. What I've come to realize now is the weekend is just another day to get 1% better. So even on weekends, you need to be consistent tracking your foods, eating the same food you were eating Monday through Friday. Because you don't want to have that mindset of working so hard just to see no progress and start back all the way in square one. Because at some point, we're all human. At some point, you're just going to give up and say, you know what? I'll just stick with this weight. I could have easily been like, you know what? I'll just stick to 250 pounds and just stick here. I mean, I had some muscle. I feel like I still look relatively like fit compared to most average Americans. Come to find out, I don't want to compare myself to average people, so but that's besides the point. But I was just telling myself, you know what? I can't do this. But then I just told myself, why can't I do this? I see other people who are leaner than me, my height, my same height. I compare myself to people who are doing way better than me in life. So I was seeing people who are doing way better than me in life because I'm telling myself these are human beings as well. These are not like some superhuman people. Even though they may seem that way, they're not. So I was telling myself there's no way these guys can get to this leanness, get to this weight, and I can't do it. So I made sure to lock in even on weekends and not see weekend as like a binging fest to reward myself. I treat it like a regular normal day, and I hope you guys do the same thing as well. So guys, these are the main top 5 key mistakes that I was making throughout my fitness journey that I wanted to share with you guys, and hopefully you guys learn something from this video and take something new.